Jack Miller stood at the transport bay window, watching as the blue-green marble of Earth grew smaller in the distance. His stomach felt tight, not from the artificial gravity, but from nerves. He was among the first humans ever accepted to the Galactic Academy. "Passenger Miller, please report to the orientation chamber," a smooth electronic voice announced. Jack grabbed his duffel bag and moved through the sleek corridors of the transport ship. He was tall for a human at 6 feet 2 inches, with broad shoulders from years of swimming and track. His brown hair was cut short, and his green eyes darted around, taking in every detail of alien technology. The orientation chamber held about 50 new students. Jack was one of only 2 humans. The rest were a bewildering array of aliens, some with multiple limbs, others with scales or feathers, a few that seemed to float rather than walk. They all gave Jack a wide berth, whispering among themselves. "That's a Deathworlder," he heard one blue-skinned alien say to another. "Class 12. Their planet tries to kill them constantly." "I heard they can break bones just by squeezing," another replied. Jack sighed. This was going to be harder than he thought. The other human noticed him and walked over. She was shorter than Jack, with dark hair pulled back in a ponytail and determined brown eyes. "I'm Olivia Rodriguez," she said, extending her hand. "Looks like we're the scary monsters at this party." Jack smiled, shaking her hand. "Jack Miller, you'd think we had fangs and breathed fire." "Humans." A tall, thin alien with 4 arms and purple skin called out, "Please refrain from your aggressive physical greeting rituals. You may damage each other's upper appendages." Olivia rolled her eyes. "That's just a handshake," she called back. "It's perfectly safe." The 4-armed alien made a note on his tablet. "Interesting. I am Administrator Folar. I will be supervising your integration into the Academy." The transport ship docked with a gentle bump. Through the viewing windows, Jack could see Arturo 7, the massive space station that housed the Galactic Academy. It looked like a giant wheel spinning slowly in space, creating its own gravity. As they disembarked, Administrator Folar gave them a tour. "The Academy has students from 27 different species," he explained. "Most come from Class 1 or 2 worlds, planets with mild climates, low gravity, and minimal environmental hazards. And we come from a Class 12, Jack said. "Indeed." Folar's 4 hands fidgeted nervously. "Earth is considered quite extreme. High gravity, wild temperature swings, dangerous wildlife, poisonous plants, natural disasters. It is remarkable your species survived long enough to develop space travel." They reached the dormitory section. "Humans will have separate living quarters initially," Folar said, "for safety reasons." "Whose safety?" Olivia asked sharply. Folar blinked his large purple eyes. "Why, for the other students, of course." Jack frowned. "We're not dangerous. Your records indicate humans regularly engage in recreational sports that would kill most sentient species," Folar said. "Your endurance alone is considered a biological weapon on some worlds." Jack and Olivia exchanged looks. This was going to be a long semester. Jack's room was small but comfortable. His roommate was a nervous blue-skinned alien named Zilkstar from a low-gravity moon called Venlax. "I requested a human roommate," Zilkstar explained, keeping his distance. "I am studying xenobiology. You are my research project." "Great," Jack muttered, dropping his bag on the bed. The artificial gravity felt slightly off, maybe 90% of Earth normal. "Is the gravity always like this?" "This is standard setting," Zilkstar said. "It is actually twice my homeworld's gravity. I wear these." He pointed to bands around his thin legs. "Gravity compensators." Jack unpacked his things, aware of Zilkstar, watching his every move. When he lifted his heavy duffel bag with one hand, the alien gasped. "Problem?" Jack asked. "That bag would require 3 Venlaxians to lift," Zilkstar whispered. "Your muscle density is remarkable. It's just clothes and books," Jack said. Later that day, all new students gathered in the main hall for orientation. Jack sat next to Olivia, both feeling the stares of the alien students. A hologram appeared at the front of the room. An elderly, alien with tentacles instead of arms and wise golden eyes. "Welcome to Galactic Academy," the hologram said. "I am Director Quinlar. For over 300 years, we have brought together the brightest young minds from across the Federation. This year, we welcome our first human students as part of our diversity initiative." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Jack noticed some students moving further away from them. "Humans come from a world very different from most of yours," the director continued. "They may seem physically intimidating, but I assure you, they have passed the same psychological screening as all of you. They are here to learn, not conquer." "That's reassuring," Olivia whispered sarcastically. After orientation, they received their class schedules. Jack looked at his tablet and frowned. "Physical adaptation studies?" he asked Administrator Folar. "What's that?" "What you might call gym class," Folar explained. "But designed for multi-species participation. All students take it. We find physical activity essential for mental development." Jack noticed something else. "It says here I'm restricted from certain activities and need special monitoring." Folar nodded. "Safety protocols for Class 10 and above species. Your instructor, Coach Kreltix, has been briefed on human capabilities." That evening, Jack sat in the station's observation deck, watching the stars. Olivia found him there. "How's your roommate?" she asked. "Terrified of me," Jack said. "Yours?" "A six-legged insectoid who sleeps hanging from the ceiling," Olivia said. "She's actually pretty nice, just convinced I might accidentally crush her." They both laughed, but it was a tired sound. "I don't know if this was a good idea," Jack admitted. "Maybe humans aren't ready for this." Olivia sat beside him. "Or maybe they aren't ready for us. But we're here now. Tomorrow's our first gym class. Let's show them what Deathworlders can." "Really do," Jack smiled. "You're right. If they think we're scary now, wait until they see us run." The next morning, Jack woke early. He did a light workout in his room, push-ups, sit-ups, stretches, aware of Zilkstar watching in horrified fascination. "Is this combat training?" Zilkstar asked. Jack laughed. "No, just a normal morning routine." "Fascinating," Zilkstar said, making notes. "Your species maintains physical readiness even when no threats are present." Jack met Olivia for breakfast in the dining hall. They had been given high-protein, high-calorie meal plans. Apparently, humans needed twice the energy of most species. "Ready for gym class?" Olivia asked. She had been a track star back on Earth. Jack nodded. "Let's try not to terrify them too much." They walked together to the gymnasium, both wondering what challenges awaited them in a class designed for species from across the galaxy, and how a couple of Deathworlders would fit in. The gymnasium of Galactic Academy was enormous. Jack and Olivia stood at the entrance, taking in the vast space. The room could change its environment. Different sections had different gravity levels, marked by colored lines on the floor. Some areas had climbing walls, others had pools of strange liquid, and one section seemed to be filled with soft foam. Coach Kreltix waited in the center of the room. He was a Diraxian with 4 muscular arms and tough, leathery skin. He wore what looked like a uniform with the Academy symbol on it. "Welcome, students," Coach Kreltix said as the class gathered. There were about 20 alien students plus Jack and Olivia. "Today we begin physical adaptation studies. This class will help you understand your own physical limits and appreciate the diverse capabilities of other species." The alien students stayed far away from the two humans. Jack could hear them whispering, "I heard humans can run for days without stopping. My parent told me they can break bones with their bare hands." Coach Kreltix held up a device. "This will monitor your vital signs during exercises. All new students must complete an assessment course so I can establish baseline capabilities." He pointed to different stations around the gym. "You will rotate through these 6 stations: running, climbing, swimming, lifting, jumping, and balance. We will begin in standard gravity." The alien students went first. Jack and Olivia watched as a tall, thin alien with green skin tried to run 1 lap around the track. It moved slowly, its breathing labored. It took nearly 3 minutes to complete one lap. Next, a group of small, fuzzy aliens attempted to climb a rope. None made it even halfway up before sliding back down. "Your turn, humans," Coach Kreltic said, watching them closely. Jack stepped onto the track. He jogged at what felt like an easy pace, completing the lap in under a minute. The alien students gasped. Even Coach Kreltic looked surprised. "That was faster than expected," the coach said, checking his monitoring device. "Miller, your heart rate barely increased." Olivia went next, matching Jack's time. Then they moved to the climbing station. Jack grabbed the rope and pulled himself up easily, reaching the top in seconds. The aliens watched in horror. One small alien with large eyes fainted. "Is this normal for humans?" Coach Kreltic asked as Jack descended. "Pretty normal," Jack said with a shrug. "Most humans could do this." At the lifting station, Jack and Olivia easily moved weights that had required 3 alien students working together. At the swimming station, they crossed the pool while most aliens needed flotation devices. By the end of class, the gap between human and alien physical capabilities was clear to everyone. Coach Kreltic kept making notes on his device, his 4 hands working rapidly. "Interesting session," he said as class ended. "Humans, please stay behind." When the alien students left, Coach Kreltic approached Jack and Olivia. "I must adjust the curriculum. Your physical capabilities exceed my expectations." "We tried not to show off," Olivia said. "You weren't even exerting yourselves," Coach Kreltic replied. "My sensors indicate you were using less than 50% of your maximum capability." Jack shifted uncomfortably. "We didn't want to scare anyone." Coach Kreltic made a sound like a laugh. "Too late for that. Half the class is already requesting transfers." He studied them with newfound respect. "Tomorrow, we will try something different." As they left the gym, a small green alien approached them cautiously. He barely reached Jack's waist with large purple eyes and 4 tiny arms. "Hello," he said in a high-pitched voice. "I am Nez. I am Quiblarian." "Hi, Nez," Jack said, trying to sound friendly. "I'm Jack, and this is Olivia. We're humans." "I know," Nez said, eyes wide. "Everyone knows about the Deathworlders." He hesitated. "Is it true you can break bones just by squeezing?" Olivia laughed. "We could break some bones, but we don't want to. We're not dangerous." Nez moved closer, lowering his voice. "The Centaurians say you are dangerous. They say Deathworlders should not be allowed at the Academy." "Who are the Centaurians?" Jack asked. "Them." Nez pointed across the corridor where a group of tall, elegant aliens with golden skin and 4 eyes were watching them. "They are Class 3 worlders. Their families have political power. They run the student council and most sports teams." One Centaurian stepped forward. He was taller than the others, with an arrogant look. "I'm Drav," he said coldly. "You may have impressed Coach Kreltic with your brute strength, but physical prowess isn't everything at this academy." "We're just here to learn," Jack said, like everyone else. Drav moved closer, looking down at Jack despite being roughly the same height. "The academy has standards, mental refinement, cultural sophistication, things Deathworlders might not." "Understand." Olivia stepped forward. "We understand just fine. And we passed the same entrance exams you did." Drav sniffed. "A temporary experiment in diversity that will soon end. Enjoy your stay while it lasts." He and his friends walked away. "Don't mind them," Nez said. "They're like that with everyone who threatens their status." "And we threaten them?" Jack asked. "After today's gym class?" "Yes." Nez nodded vigorously. "No one has ever outperformed Centaurians in physical tests before." Later, Jack sat in the academy's common area with Olivia, discussing their first day. "We need to be careful," Olivia said. "We don't want to make enemies." "Too late," Jack replied. "The Centaurians already hate us." Silkstar, Jack's blue roommate, approached their table nervously. "May I join you?" he asked. "For my research." Jack nodded. "Sure. What do you want to know?" "How do humans become so strong?" Zilkstar asked, taking out his note device. We're not actually that strong by Earth standards, Olivia explained. Jack and I are just regular teenagers. Zilkstar's eyes widened. You mean there are humans stronger than you? Much stronger, Jack said. Professional athletes, soldiers. They train specifically to build strength and endurance. Zilkstar made rapid notes. Fascinating and terrifying. Jack watched other students in the common area. Most avoided looking at the humans directly. A few, like Nez, seemed curious rather than afraid. The Centaurians sat in their own section, occasionally glaring at Jack and Olivia. Tomorrow will be interesting, Jack said. I wonder what Coach Kreltix has planned. Whatever it is, Olivia replied. We should probably hold back a little. No need to scare everyone more than we already have. As they talked, Administrator Folar entered the common area and walked straight to their table. His 4 hands were clutching tablets and papers. There have been complaints, Folar said without greeting them. Several students found your performance in gym class disturbing. We just did what the coach asked, Jack said. Yes, well? Folar looked uncomfortable. Coach Kreltix wants to implement special protocols for human students. Director Quinlar has approved. Tomorrow's class will be different. As Folar walked away, Jack and Olivia exchanged worried looks. Special protocols? Olivia said. That doesn't sound good. We'll find out tomorrow, Jack said. But I'm starting to think being a Deathworlder might be more trouble than it's worth. Jack and Olivia arrived at the gymnasium the next day to find it completely transformed. The large space now contained what looked like an obstacle course with various challenges. Coach Kreltix stood in the center, his 4 arms holding different pieces of equipment. Welcome to Protocol 47B, Coach Kreltix announced as all students gathered. Today we will test adaptability with changing conditions. Jack noticed several Academy officials watching from an observation deck above, including Administrator Folar and Director Quinlar. This wasn't just a regular class anymore. What is Protocol 47B? Olivia whispered to Nez, who had positioned himself close to the humans. Special training for unusual species, Nez replied quietly. They haven't used it in 20 years, not since the Craxian rock dwellers attended. Coach Kreltix held up a ball about the size of a basketball. We will begin with a modified version of a human game called dodgeball. The rules are simple. Throw the ball at opponents. If hit, you're out. If you catch a ball thrown at you, the thrower is out. He pressed a button on his wrist device. The challenge is that gravity will change randomly throughout the game. Teams will be Centaurians versus humans. Jack looked around. There were 8 Centaurians and only 2 humans. That doesn't seem fair, Jack said. Coach Kreltix smiled, showing pointed teeth. Life isn't fair, Miller, especially for species who evolve on death worlds. The game began with normal gravity. Drav, the lead Centaurian, immediately threw a ball at Jack with surprising force. Jack caught it easily. Drav is out, Coach Kreltix announced. Drav stomped off the court, glaring at Jack. The remaining Centaurians moved with surprising grace, throwing balls at angles that would be difficult to dodge. But Jack and Olivia were faster, catching or dodging every throw. Suddenly a tone sounded and the gravity increased. Jack felt heavier, but it was still manageable, perhaps 1.2 times Earth normal. The Centaurians, however, struggled to move, their slender bodies not built for higher gravity. Jack and Olivia used this advantage to eliminate 3 more Centaurians. The gravity shifted again, becoming lighter. The remaining Centaurians moved. Quickly, almost floating, but their throws had less force behind them. By the end of the game, all 8 Centaurians were out. Jack and Olivia hadn't been hit once. Impressive performance, Coach Kreltix said, making notes on his device. Now, let's try something more challenging. The next activity was an obstacle course with 5 stations. Each station had different gravity settings. Jack and Olivia watched as alien students struggled through climbing walls, balance beams, and jumping sections. When it was their turn, Jack and Olivia moved through the course with relative ease. Even in the high-gravity sections, they were faster than any alien student. In the low-gravity section, They quickly learned how to control their jumps and movements. By the end of class, it was clear the humans had outperformed everyone again. The alien students stared at them with a mixture of fear and awe. The Centaurians looked furious. Class dismissed. Coach Kreltix announced. Humans, stay behind again. When the others left, Coach Kreltix approached them with a strange expression. You continue to exceed expectations, he said. The data we're collecting is remarkable. Is that why you created this special protocol? Olivia asked. To collect data on us? Coach Kreltix nodded. Partly, the Academy has never had Class UA, 12 species before. We need to understand your capabilities. And the other reason? Jack asked. The coach hesitated. Some influential parents are concerned about humans attending the Academy. They want proof that you are safe. We're not lab animals, Olivia said angrily. No, you're much more interesting, Coach Kreltix replied. Tomorrow will be even more challenging. I suggest you rest well. As they left the gym, they found Nez waiting for them. The small alien was practically bouncing with excitement. That was amazing, he squeaked. No one has ever beaten all the Centaurians before. They didn't seem happy about it, Jack said, noticing Drav and his friends glaring. From across the corridor, they're not, Nez confirmed. Centaurians always win physical competitions. It's how they maintain their social position. Well, maybe that needs to change, Olivia said. Later, in the dining hall, Jack and Olivia sat with Nez and Zilkstar. A few other curious aliens had joined their table, keeping a respectful distance but clearly interested in the humans. Is Earth really as dangerous as they say? Asked a purple plant-like alien named Frond. Parts of it can be, Jack explained. We have deserts, mountains, oceans, jungles. Different places have different challenges. And the animals? Zilkstar asked. Is it true some Earth creatures hunt and eat others? Olivia nodded. That's normal on Earth, it's part of our ecosystem. The aliens looked horrified. And humans, do you hunt? Frond asked nervously. Some humans hunt for food or sport, Jack said honestly. But most of us just buy food from stores, like you probably do. Their conversation was interrupted when Administrator Fowler approached their table. Miller Rodriguez, please come with me, he said formally. Director Quinlar wishes to speak with you. They followed Fowler to the director's office. Director Quinlar was a dignified alien with golden tentacles instead of arms and wise eyes. He studied the humans carefully as they entered. Please, sit, he said, gesturing to chairs designed for human bodies. I've been reviewing Coach Kreltix's reports. Jack and Olivia sat down, exchanging worried glances. You are causing quite a stir at our academy, Director Quinlar continued. Some parents are demanding you be removed from regular classes. Others are fascinated and want more human students. We're just trying to fit in, Jack said. Director Quinlar made a sound like gentle laughter. By performing physical feats that terrify half the student body? That's not exactly fitting in. Should we deliberately fail? Olivia asked. Pretend to be weaker than we are? No, Director Quinlar said firmly. That would be dishonest, but you must understand that your presence disrupts centuries of established hierarchy. The Centaurians, Jack guessed. Among others, the director nodded. For generations, certain species have dominated various aspects of academy life. Centaurians in athletics, Mentalites in academics, Vosians in arts. Your arrival challenges this order. That sounds like their problem, not ours, Olivia said. Director Quinlar's tentacles moved in what might have been a shrug. Perhaps, but I must consider all students' well-being. Tomorrow, Coach Kreltix will introduce team activities. I suggest you use them as an opportunity to build bridges, not widen gaps. As they left the director's office, Jack felt a new weight on his shoulders. They weren't just students anymore. They were representatives of all humanity. We need to be careful tomorrow, Jack said to Olivia. Show what humans can do, but not in a way that makes enemies. Easier said than done, Olivia replied. Especially with Protocol 47B. They didn't notice Drav listening from around the corner, a calculating look on his four-eyed face. The next morning, Jack found a message on his tablet. It was from Drav, the Centaurian. The message was simple. "Meet me at the observatory at 18. Come alone." Jack showed the message to Olivia during breakfast. "It's obviously a trap," Olivia said, pushing her food around on her plate. The Academy kitchen still hadn't figured out how to make food that tasted good to humans. "Probably," Jack agreed. "But I'm going anyway. We need to sort this out." Nez joined them, his large purple eyes looking worried. "The Centaurians are planning something," he said quietly. "They were meeting late last night in the common area." "Did you hear what they said?" Jack asked. Nez shook his head. "No, but they looked angry, and they mentioned the challenge several times." Gym class that day started with Coach Kreltix announcing team activities. "Today we learned to work together despite our differences," he said. "I will assign teams with mixed species." Jack ended up on a team with Zilkstar, Nez, and two other aliens he didn't know well, a rock-like creature named Grax, and a floating jellyfish-like being called Floatix. Olivia was placed on a different team with different aliens. All the Centaurians were grouped together on their own team. "That doesn't seem fair," Jack whispered to Nez. "Why do they get to be on the same team?" "Centaurian parents donate a lot of money to the Academy," Nez replied. "They get special treatment." The first activity was a relay race through changing environments. Each team member had to complete one section, passing a baton to the next runner. Jack's team struggled at first. Zilkstar was slow in the higher gravity section. Nez was too small to carry the baton easily. Grax moved like, well, a rock. "We need to play to our strengths," Jack told his team. "I'll take the high gravity section. Zilkstar, you take low gravity where you can move faster. Nez, you're small but quick in normal gravity. Grax, you're steady on the balance beam. Floatix, you're perfect for the underwater section." With this strategy, they performed much better in the next round. Jack easily navigated the high-gravity section that slowed most aliens down. Zilkstar practically flew through the low-gravity area. By working together, they finished second, just behind the Centaurian team. "Well done," Coach Kreltix said. "Now you see how different biological adaptations can complement each other." The next activity was a building challenge. Teams had to construct a tower using blocks of different weights and sizes. The tower needed to withstand changing gravity without falling. "I can lift the heavy pieces," Jack offered to his team, "and I can calculate the exact positions for balance," Zilkstar added. The blue alien seemed less afraid of Jack now. Nez, with his 4 small arms, could place smaller blocks in tight spaces. Grax provided a solid base, while Floatix could float up to place pieces at the top. They worked well together, each using their unique abilities. Their tower was tall and strong, easily surviving the gravity changes. This time they won, beating even the Centaurian team. Drav looked furious. He stormed over to Coach Kreltix. "The human is using his abnormal strength. That should be against the rules." "There is no rule against using your natural abilities," Coach Kreltix replied calmly. "The point of this exercise is to work together, using each species' strengths." By the end of class, Jack's team had won 2 events and placed second in another. The Centaurian team had won only 1 event. Jack could see Drav and his friends looking at him with even more hostility. After class, Jack's teammates surprised him by inviting him to join them for lunch. "You're not what I expected," Zilkstar admitted as they sat together. "I thought humans would be more aggressive." "We can be sometimes," Jack said honestly. "But most of us just want to get along with others." "You made our team better," Nez said, his purple eyes shining with admiration. "We've never beaten the Centaurians before." As they talked and laughed together, Jack noticed other aliens watching them with curiosity rather than fear. It felt like progress. At 18U, Jack went to the observatory as Drav had requested. The observatory was a large dome with a clear ceiling, showing the stars above Arturo 7. Drav was waiting, alone as promised. "Miller," Drav said stiffly. "Drav." Jack nodded. "What's this about?" I challenge you to the Galactic Pentathlon, Drav announced formally. 5 events testing different physical attributes. The winner gains status as the top physical specimen at the Academy. Jack frowned. I'm not interested in status. This isn't just about status, Drav said, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. It's about the proper order of things. Centaurians have always been the physical elite. Your presence disrupts this balance. Maybe the balance needed disrupting, Jack suggested. Drav moved closer, lowering his voice. There are those who believe humans should not be at the Academy. If you refuse my challenge, it will support their position. Jack understood the trap. If he competed and won, he'd make more enemies. If he refused, it would be seen as proof humans didn't belong. What are the events? Jack asked. Strength, speed, endurance, agility, and adaptation, Drav listed, each in different gravity conditions. The competition will be in 3 days, witnessed by all students. And if I win, then you will have earned your place, Drav said reluctantly. And perhaps more humans will be permitted to attend in the future. That got Jack's attention. He and Olivia were test cases. Their performance would determine if other humans could come to the Academy. I accept, Jack said. But on one condition. This ends the conflict between humans and Centaurians. No more hostility, win or lose. Drav hesitated, then extended his hand in what he clearly thought was a human gesture. Agreed. Jack shook Drav's hand, careful not to squeeze too hard. The Centaurian's fingers felt fragile in his grip. When Jack told Olivia about the challenge, she was furious. He manipulated you. This is exactly what Director Quinlar warned us about. What choice did I have? Jack asked. If I refused, they'd use it against all humans. Olivia sighed. I know. I just wish there was another way. News of the Galactic Pentathlon spread quickly through the Academy. Students talked about nothing else. Bets were placed on who would win. Most aliens still favored Drav, not believing a human could defeat a Centaurian in a formal competition. Jack spent the next 2 days training and preparing. His teammates from gym class offered help and advice. Zilkstar provided data on Centaurian physiology. Nez showed Jack how the different gravity fields worked. Even Flotix and Grax contributed strategies for the different events. The night before the competition, Administrator Fowler summoned Jack to his office. This competition was not authorized, Fowler said, his 4 hands fidgeting nervously. But Director Quinlar has decided to allow it with supervision. Thank you, Jack said. Don't thank me, Fowler replied. This could end badly for everyone, but perhaps it's necessary. He looked at Jack curiously. Do you believe you can win? Jack thought about the challenges ahead. I don't know, but I have to try. Not just for me, but for all humans who might come after. As Jack left Fowler's office, he saw Drav at the end of the corridor watching him. The competition was about more than physical prowess now. It was about the future of humans in the galactic community. The day of the Galactic Pentathlon arrived. The gymnasium had been transformed into a competition arena, with viewing areas for students and staff. Nearly everyone at the Academy had come to watch. Jack saw Olivia, Nez, Zilkstar, and his other teammates in the front row ready to support him. Director Quinlar stood in the center of the gym, his golden tentacles gleaming under the lights. Welcome to this unprecedented event, he announced. Today we witness a contest between 2 students, but it represents something larger, our ability to respect and understand different species. Coach Kreltix stepped forward, holding a tablet with the event details. The pentathlon has 5 events: strength, speed, endurance, agility, and adaptation. Each event occurs in different gravity conditions. The competitor who wins the most events will be declared the champion. Jack and Drav stood side by side, not looking at each other. Jack wore simple Earth workout clothes. Drav wore a sleek, golden uniform with the Centaurian symbol on the chest. The first event is strength, Coach Kreltix announced. Contestants will lift progressively heavier weights in 1.2 times standard gravity. The gravity in the strength area increased, making Jack feel heavier. For Drav, the Centaurian, it was even worse. His slender body wasn't built for high gravity. They began with relatively light weights. Both lifted them easily. As the weights increased, Drav began to struggle. His 4 eyes showed strain. Jack, however, continued without difficulty. When they reached weights that were heavy even by human standards, Jack had to work hard. He focused, remembering his training on Earth. With a final push, he lifted the heaviest weight over his head, while Drav could barely move his off the ground. The strength event goes to Miller, Coach Kreltix announced. Some students cheered, while others looked worried. The second event is speed, Coach Kreltix continued. A sprint in 0.8 gravity. The reduced gravity made both competitors lighter. Jack had practiced running in low gravity during gym class, but it still felt strange, like he might float away with each step. The race began. Drav moved with grace, his body better adapted to lower gravity than Jack's. But Jack's powerful legs gave him acceleration that Drav couldn't match. They were neck and neck until the final stretch, when Jack pulled ahead to win by a body length. Speed event also goes to Miller, Coach Kreltix announced. The crowd murmured in surprise. No one had expected the human to win both events. The third event is endurance, Coach Kreltix said. Competitors will swim against a current in 1.0 gravity. Jack smiled. Swimming was his best sport on Earth. The pool contained a clear liquid slightly thicker than water, with currents pushing against the swimmers. Drav entered the pool first, moving with reasonable skill. When Jack's turn came, he slipped into the liquid and began to swim with strong, even strokes. The current was strong, but Jack's powerful arms and legs fought against it steadily. Jack completed the required distance in half the time it took Drav. Some of the alien students were beginning to cheer for him now, impressed by his performance. The endurance event goes to Miller, Coach Kreltix said. That's 3 events to 0. Jack had already won the majority of events, technically making him the champion, but the competition continued. The 4th event is agility, Coach Kreltix announced. An obstacle course in 0 gravity. This would be the most challenging event for Jack. 0 gravity was difficult for humans to navigate. Drav looked confident for the first time. They entered the 0 gravity chamber. Jack immediately felt disoriented as he began to float. Drav moved with practiced ease, pushing off surfaces gracefully to navigate the obstacles. Jack struggled at first, bumping into walls and spinning uncontrollably. But he remembered what Nez had taught him about 0 gravity movement. He began to improve, using controlled pushes to direct his body. Drav finished the course first, moving through it like he was born in space. Jack completed it shortly after, satisfied with his performance despite the loss. The agility event goes to Drav, Coach Kreltix announced. The Centaurians cheered loudly. The final event is adaptation, Coach Kreltix said. Competitors will climb a wall while gravity changes randomly. This would be the deciding moment. Jack and Drav approached the climbing wall together. It was tall, with various handholds and footholds of different sizes. They began climbing in normal gravity. Jack took an early lead, his stronger arms pulling him up quickly. Then, without warning, the gravity dropped to near 0. Jack started to float away from the wall but grabbed a handhold just in time. Drav adjusted more quickly, using the low gravity to make rapid progress. Then the gravity increased suddenly to 1.5 times normal. Jack felt his body being pulled down hard, but his muscles were accustomed to Earth's gravity. Drav, however, was nearly pulled off the wall, his slender body struggling against the increased force. As they neared the top, Jack noticed something strange. Drav was moving too easily in the high-gravity section. Looking closer, Jack saw small devices attached to Drav's uniform, gravity compensators like the ones Zilkstar wore. Jack was about to call out the cheating when the gravity suddenly cut out completely. Both climbers began floating freely. It wasn't part of the normal pattern. Someone had tampered with the controls. In the 0 gravity, Drav pushed hard off the wall, aiming for the top. But he pushed too hard, floating past his target. Jack, using what he had learned in the previous event, made a controlled movement and reached the top first. The adaptation event and the pentathlon go to Miller, Coach Kreltix announced. The crowd erupted in cheers and gasps. Jack had won 4 of the 5 events. Even some Centaurians looked impressed, though Drav and his closest friends were furious. "This is not acceptable," Drav shouted. "The human cheated somehow." Director Quinlar moved forward, his tentacles waving calmly. All competitors were monitored closely. There was no cheating. He looked at Drav meaningfully. From Miller. Drav fell silent, knowing his own cheating had been detected but not called out publicly. Director Quinlar turned to address all students. "Today we witnessed something important. Different evolutionary paths create different strengths. The human's victory doesn't diminish any other species. It reminds us that diversity makes our community stronger." After the competition, students surrounded Jack, congratulating him. Even some Centaurians nodded respectfully. Nez hugged Jack's leg excitedly. Zilkstar studied him with new respect. Olivia pushed through the crowd to give him a high five. "You did it," she said. "You showed them what humans can do." Later, in Director Quinlar's office, Jack and Olivia received news that would change everything. "The Academy Board has approved an expansion of the Human Exchange Program," Director Quinlar told them. "Next semester, 20 more human students will join us." "That's great news," Jack said. "But will they be accepted?" "Your performance in the pentathlon has changed many minds," Director Quinlar replied. "And not just about human physical abilities. You showed teamwork, fairness, and respect. Those qualities matter more than any athletic achievement." As Jack and Olivia left the office, they saw Drav waiting in the corridor. The Centaurian looked different, less arrogant, more thoughtful. "Good competition," Drav said stiffly. "Perhaps there is a place for humans here after all." It wasn't exactly friendship, but it was a beginning. As they walked away, Jack and Olivia realized they had accomplished something important. They hadn't just survived at the academy. They had helped change it for the better, opening doors for humans who would come after them. The Deathworlders had turned gym class into a nightmare for alien students. But in doing so, they had taught an important lesson about accepting differences and finding strength in diversity.